Hi everyone, it's me, C Lefty Run with my week 14. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're already here. I think I say that every week. Week 14, Boston Marathon, week of training recap. So in week 14, I ran 54 miles. Should have ran 56, and I'll tell you why. Ran 54 miles. I think I told you last week, my Saturday 16 miler was awful. And then I went on my 8 on Sunday, which starts my week. I ran that in 9:46. My heart rate was a 137. And I felt awful on Sunday. Turns out I did, in fact, have the stomach flu. So in fact, the school down the street from my home closed down for a week because so many kids and teachers have been sick with the stomach flu. So I did have the stomach flu, felt like crap until Thursday. So even took Wednesday off of work. Anyway, I'll get into that. Yeah, last Saturday I had that terrible 60-mile run. I was crampy. I came home. I was in bed for the rest of the day. Sunday, I did the 8, in bed for the rest of the day. But I'm so impressed with myself that I had the stomach flu and only gave up 2 miles for it and attempted still speed. And I did okay with it. So I'll get into that. Monday, I ran 6 miles at a 9:53 pace. So, but my heart rate was a 142. And you know what my Garmin said on Monday? It's never had this before. It said strained. I was all, oh, strained? What do you mean I'm strained? Well, it was because I was sick. And I knew I was sick, but I was like in denial. So yeah, it said strained, like you're strained. You better stop this running nonsense that you're doing. And I said, I'm going to keep going. So I decided to take Tuesday off as my rest day. And I thought I need a day I need this thing to go one more day. Like I need to get it out of my body. And I actually took Wednesday off of work. So on Wednesday, I had a 12-mile run scheduled since I pushed my Tuesday run to Wednesday because of the stomach flu. And mind you, like I wasn't throwing up or anything. I was doing other things that I don't want to be TMI. And I also had no appetite. Like even water made me nauseous. So I was dealing with having the stomach flu and then not eating enough at all to support the running. So I was just dealing with all kinds of stuff. So on Wednesday, I had my workout was a 3x2x3. And I thought it was at goal marathon pace -10, but it just ended up being goal marathon pace, which like makes me normally pretty happy. But on Wednesday, and we've had terrible weather still. It was rainy on Wednesday, windy, and then on top of it all, I'm not feeling well. But I was like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to do what I can. I stuck to just loops around my neighborhood because I thought if I'm feeling really crummy, I can just go home and I won't be like stuck at the park where I have to like walk 2 miles home. So I actually ended up doing 3x2x1 instead of 3x2x3 because I was like, I know I'm not feeling well. I don't want to overdo it because if you overdo it, the recovery would take me long and then it just makes the workout worthless. So I didn't want to be in that boat either. So my first set of 3 miles, remember, it's just at goal marathon pace, 8:05, 8:16, 8:03. And then the second, and then I did 2 miles, 8:13, 8:19. And then I think I had a half-mile recovery between the reps. And then my last mile was an 8:13, and I really had to fight for that 8:13. So, and I just felt crummy, the whole time. I was just like, can we just be done with this? So I told you in my last video that I think it's important to always finish whatever you're set out to do that day, unless you're sick, right? Unless you're sick. So that day I set out thinking, okay, you're not going to do the full 12 miles. That would just be stupid. So I did 10. And I'm really impressed with myself that I get it out 10 with the stomach flu and not eating a lot. My heart rate was 151. So I actually kind of built my confidence because I was like, shoot, if I can run through this, I can run through anything. Thursday, I started to feel better. Like Wednesday, when I got home from that run, I just kind of felt like it worked itself out of my system. Thursday, I started to feel better. I was actually hungry again. I ran 6 in the morning. My average pace was a 10:08 and my heart rate was a 130. But I came home, I had a smoothie and I ate normal that day. Friday, I did my 8. Stephanie was not feeling well, my running buddy. She got sick too. So I did it alone around my neighborhood, which I don't really mind so much. It's early. I have my lights on. I listen to my podcasts. I listen to Jeff Lewis Live. I listen to Juicy Scoop by Heather McDonald. I don't really listen to running podcasts on Friday. I just like to laugh in the morning on Fridays when I'm out there by myself. So I did a 9:36. My average heart rate was a 136. So Saturday was my big test. I had a 16-mile long run and I was kind of like, how do I approach this? I'm still trying to build back. I'm still kind of recovering. I think Luke Humphrey on one of the Boston training forum that I'm part of had said like, hey, he always checks up like, hey, how's this week going? If you're training for Boston, you get to write how it's going and he'll respond and whatnot. But he was like, this is not the time to be pushing paces. Like you just want to kind of maintain at this point because it's better to be a little bit undercooked than overcooked. Not that he wants you either, but yeah, so I had that in my head. Like, I don't want to push it. I just kind of have to maintain and recover. So my average pace for the 16 on Saturday was 8:41. And I was actually really happy with the consistency of this run. My first few miles, I was a 9:32 for mile 1, 9:11 for mile 2, 8:58 for mile 3, 8:44 for mile 4. And then I just started working it down and I stayed in the 8:30 range from that point on out. And then my last mile was a 7:51. So I felt pretty good considering I had been through heck for the week. And I had 3 gels, right? Yeah, 4, 8, 12. Yeah, I had a 100 milligram precision fuel gel before I started, along with a Kodiak cake. And then I had a gel every 4 miles and I mixed up. I had a honey stinger gold, and then I had a precision caffeinated 100 milligram gel. And then I had another honey stinger. And yeah, did I want to go longer? No, I'm really starting to feel the cumulative fatigue and I'm tired and just out there trying to do the best I can at this point. Like I said, maintain and recover. So my strategy was for Boston. Like, what is it? I don't even know, to be honest with you. I need to look into the course a little bit better. I do know that the hills start at mile 16. I do know the first part is downhill and it's really easy to get carried away in the first part. But if you get carried away, you're going to blow the rest of the race. So I have to be very careful of that. I would like to requalify, which is a sub 350. Like if I had to put a time on it, I've been training at an 8:35 or not 8:35. I've been training for a 3:35 and most of my training has gone well. I've done all of my runs. I haven't missed one, with the exception of this week where I switched some days and I missed 2 miles. So we'll see. We'll see. But I'm like, how long do I really pull back? Do I pull back for the first 10? Do I pull back for the first 15? If I do pull back, how much do I pull back? I don't know, but I do know that I want to have the chipping away at strategy where I start slower and then I slowly start chipping away. Now I know when I get, which has been what I have been doing for this cycle. However, with the hills and whatnot, that's going to make it difficult. I am going to have some slower miles in those places. But overall, my big goal is I just want to finish feeling good. I don't want to stop and walk. I want to feel good enough to where I can keep going. that is my big goal. But Luke Humphrey was like, you got to kind of give yourself a time goal, because you don't want to just be out there like with no sense of direction. So I thought, okay, if I stay within maybe the first 2 miles, 3 miles, I can ease into it. And then I can hope to stay like within 8:45 or less at that point. Then I think I should be in a pretty good shape. But again, it's a world major. I would never try to PR a world major. I'm not going out there to try to PR. I will probably never run a course faster than I ran Big Bear, and I'm okay with that. So that is my strategy. I'm looking right now at ahead, and I have those 2 8-mile runs that are sandwiched between my long run. I have 8 on Friday, long run Saturday, 8 on Sunday. So I think within the next, not this week, but the next week, I'm going to cut one of those runs down to 6. Even though my plan doesn't say to do that, I think I'm going to do that because I think I need a bit more of a taper. And this plan that I'm using for Boston has been more aggressive than my previous plans. And my previous plans, I would run 6 on Sunday. So I think I'm totally okay if I cut one of those. I think it'll be the Sunday run to 6 miles. I'm going to do that soon. Oh, I'm super bummed about this. I can't run Mount Charleston. You want to know why? Let me tell you why. My husband, that's why. No, so we were going to go, my husband's in law enforcement. We every year support this relay called Baker to Vegas. And I love going. We usually take, and it's a relay from the city of Baker to Vegas. And it's all kinds of law enforcement agencies that go out and do this run. And there's 16 runners. I can't remember how many legs there are. There's a lot of legs, and we usually support the middle legs that usually start at 7 p.m. or something. And then we're out there till like 3 a.m. And you're just in a van driving next to the runners, and you give them whatever fuel they need, right? And so we've done it a lot. And so we were going to do it this year. It's 2 weeks before Boston. So I was a little nervous about that. I was like, great, I'm going to be up all weekend. And then I have to maintain my running, right? And then I'm going to be sleep deprived, which you don't want to do before going into Boston. So I was like, okay, I'm going to run Mount Charleston half. At least I can check my long run off, which I was supposed to do 16 miles that day. So it's already cutting it by 3. And then Charleston is a downhill course. The end levels out and has some hills, but I was worried about getting injured. I was also worried about like, I was going to take it easy, right? It was like supposed to be my long run pace. And I didn't trust myself to do that. So I had all these little things going on in my mind. And really, like I said, really afraid of getting injured, really afraid of like losing the sleep, because Boston, I've worked for 15 years to get there. Like I'd be so upset if I got injured and blew it, So I thought my mother-in-law was watching the kids, right? I was like, hey, husband, did you asked your mom to watch the kids, right? Oh yeah, it's covered. She's going to watch the kids. Okay, great. I booked airfare. I booked hotel. I booked Charleston. I even had my bib come into my house, all that stuff. And then he tells me last week, yeah, turns out I didn't ask my mom. She's going on a cruise. And I was like, oh my gosh. She goes, she's retired. I just thought she'd be able to. And I was like, his mom has a social life that rivals mine or is better than mine. So actually it's better than mine right now when I'm training for a marathon. I have like no social life. So I was like, I can't believe. So I had to cancel. I have a credit for Charleston now because I missed the cancellation by like 2 days. I have now an airline credit, and thank gosh I was able to cancel the hotel, but I'm bummed because I like Charleston. And Marathon Training Academy is going to be there. And I listen to their podcast sometimes. And I was like, great, I can do a shakeout run with them. Now it's all, because when I ran Charleston last year and I had to do the shakeout in Vegas, like I hate running in Las Vegas. It's awful. It's crowded. You go early. The strip is always crowded. And then there's like, characters out, and you're just, it's tough to run in Las Vegas. So I was like, oh, I can do a shakeout with them. I had it all figured out. No. So if you're running Charleston, good luck. I'm jealous, and I'll be there next year. So, I'm tired of this rain. I can tell you that right now. It's going to rain again. Saturday, it was beautiful, nice and sunny. I wore shorts and a tank top on Saturday. When I finished my run, it was 72 degrees. Today it's raining again. And it's supposed to rain Tuesday, Wednesday this week. I'm like, oh gosh, my Tuesday SOS, which fortunately this week I was going to do on the treadmill anyway, because it's got hill repeats. So whatever, I can't control the weather. Boston weather could be terrible too. So I kind of think it is. I have a feeling it's going to be bad. Anyway, I just do, because it's been unseasonably cold here in Cali. Anywho, on to week 15. Should be good. I'm feeling better. My hip is hurting a little bit, but it's nothing like it was before. It's not swollen. I'm afraid to do serious strength training because every time I do, I've been getting hurt. So happy training to you. I'll see you next time.